Hey everybody, it's me, Dixie, your VSG Southerville, coming to you tonight. Just gonna give you a small update on what's going on. Um, I had VSG surgery in October 6th of 2014. My highest weight was 298 pounds. Day of surgery, I weighed 239 pounds. As of today, I weigh 205 pounds. I came to you guys last week, and in my video I said I was 198. I was not 198. I was actually 203.5, I believe. This week, lots been going on since my last video. When I was in the pool, I've been in the pool a lot with the grandkids, and thought I maybe pulled a muscle in my back. Started having this pain in my back on Saturday. The pain, by Saturday evening, the pain became stronger. All day Sunday it became stronger. By Sunday night, I was debating, should I call my family doctor or should I call the gynecologist, urologist, gynecologist specialist? I called the specialist office, and one of the doctors called back and told me that I would need to, he suggested not going to the hospital. He suggested waiting till Monday morning and then calling the office, because he said it would be cheaper for them to do the test. I was telling him I felt I was having kidney pain, because the pain was now, I realized by Sunday afternoon, the pain was now not in my back per se. It was more in my back, but towards the right side, up under the rib in my back, and then the pain would follow around my side, and then up inside, just under my breast, up under the rib. And so then I got to wondering about kidney. Maybe I had a kidney stone, or something was maybe wrong with my kidney, because they did tell me that with the urine not emptying from my bladder, that it could back up into your kidneys and cause damage to your kidneys. So I was wondering, if was it too late? Was there more wrong? But this doctor suggested I wait till Monday morning and then come in and have the test done in their office, because he said it would be much cheaper than going to the hospital. So I said, okay. So all night Sunday night, I had a hard time sleeping. The pain was bad. I got up very early in the morning because the pain was bad. I was in very, very, very sharp pain. So Monday morning, I got up bright and early and 7 a.m. and I thought, well, I'm going to try the doctor's office and see if anybody's in yet. I was thinking, well, they're probably not going to be in until 8 o'clock, and I tried, and sure enough, they answered, and I went in to see them. She wanted to get me in right away, but my daughter had to give me a ride because my truck is still not running. So my daughter had to give me a ride. And so I told her, well, I can't come in until after 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. because my daughter had to go to her. She helps her brother-in-law with a laundry mat, and she had to go to the mat and do what she had to do there, and then she could come take me to the doctor, and I was fine with that. And so they set the appointment up at 11:30, and I went in, and I started telling him that I started smelling like this foul odor leaching from me over the past 2 nights. that I've been dumping a lot. I told you in last week's video that I've been dumping a lot. Um, I told him that I'm dumping on stuff that I've never dumped on even after surgery. And then I was telling him that my mouth is constantly like watering. You know that watering you get just before you feel like you're going to get sick? And I told him that I had that taste or that watery feel in my mouth. And then I felt nauseous off and on. And then I started telling him I thought I was dehydrated, even though I've been drinking 3 um, bottles. I drink these 33 .5 ounce bottles of water a day. I try to get in 4, but I've lately been only able to get in about 2.5, maybe 3. This week, prior to this week, I was getting in about 3, and maybe starting on a 4th. But this last week, I've only been able to get in maybe 1.5 since with all the pain. And so right away he looked over at the nurse and he said, I think I want to get x-rays, upper and lower belly x-rays. So they have their own x-ray room there in his office. And so they took me back to the x-ray machine, and they did an upper and lower standing, and then an upper and lower laying down. And he came back to the room, and he barely even cracked the door, and he leaned his head in through the crack, and he said, "Yep, you're full of it." And I just kind of stood there looking at him. I didn't say anything. I just kind of stood there looking at him, and then he was like, "Dixie." He sits down on the table and he says, "Dixie, you're full of poo." And he goes, "And I mean, you are full. You are compacted all the way through. You're solidly packed." And he said, "What I want you to do." This could be life threatening. It could lead to sepsis if he says you're very full, and he said that you came in, my daughter was like, "Mom, if you'd have waited another week, you'd probably be dead." But he said it could lead to a rupture in the intestines for being so full and so swollen. He said that's where the pain was coming from. He said everything was so swollen and full. Although he did do draw blood, and he was going to look to see if if it was anything to do with the kidneys, but he came back and said the urine looked good. Today he called me. He said the blood work looked good. He wanted to know how I was doing today. But what he told me to do yesterday was he told me to get a 32 ounce bottle of Gatorade G2, only in the white and the yellow. And I didn't understand why he said only the white and the yellow, because he wasn't bringing me back just to have me scanned or anything. And so we got to the Walmart up the street. Like I said, there's a Walmart 2 blocks from my house, and we stopped into Walmart to get, he said, "I want you to get 32 ounce bottle of Gatorade G2, and then I want you to get a 400 and I think it was like a 475 gram bottle of Miralax." I told him Miralax doesn't work for me, and he got a smile on his face. He says, this will work. And he goes, "So what I want you to do," and I thought he was going to tell me, 1 capful, maybe a couple times a day or something, but he said, I want you, and so I went to Walmart to get the Miralax. Well, the Miralax in the they didn't even have the size bottle that he wanted me to get. Um, they had a bigger one. It was like 600. It was like 600 point something grams, and then the one down from that was like 300 some point grams. And I was like, okay. So I just got the Walmart brand, the Clear Lax. Um, Down here at the bottom, as you can see, it says 30 doses. It says once a day dose. Doses on here. This one is a 510 grams. So I just went with it because it was the closest to what he had said. You see the size of this bottle? It's a big bottle, guys. This bottle, I had to pour half of this bottle into that 32 ounce G2. Half. I was like, oh my God, I don't like Gatorade to begin with. Gatorade makes me that, that watering mouth thing I was telling you about. When I taste Gatorade, my mouth does that. I don't like Gatorade. But Walmart didn't have the clear or the yellow. So I went and talked to the pharmacist, and I told her, I said, does it make a difference? She says, well, yeah, it does, because if they want to do a scan. I said, no. We have already done x-rays and everything. He's just doing this to clean me out. And I said, I'm not scheduled to go back in for no scans or nothing. She goes, oh, well then no, the flavor wouldn't have anything to do with that as far as cleaning you out. She goes, any of them would work. And I said, because all they had was the blueberry, this other blue one, can't remember what it was, and a purple one, and a red one. But no orange, no yellow, no white. And he said, I want you to drink that over a 2-hour period of time. It took me a little longer than 2 hours to get that down. Like I said, I can't stomach Gatorade to begin with. But to try and do it when I'm not feeling well and my mouth was already doing the watering thing and I'm having some serious pain in my stomach and in my side, and in my back. I was like, it took me more like 2.5 hours, but I got it all in. Wasn't half bad. Wasn't as bad as I thought, but by the time I got to the last, I don't know, eighth of the bottle, I was like, am I done already? I was done with it pretty much. But I chugged it and got it in, and I kept sitting there. 1 minute I would say, I don't think it's doing anything. I don't feel anything. I don't think it's doing anything. And then the next minute I'd say, oh man, I'd say, well, I think it might be doing something. I think I might be feeling something. And then I'm like, no, I don't think it's doing it. And I kept doing that for like 2 hours. And then Bonnie got up and left. And as soon as she walked out the door, all of a sudden I felt, and it's like, I had to run. But it wasn't half that bad, guys. I thought I was, because I've had a colonoscopy before and was cleaned out for that, and I ended up being very sore after being, cleaned out with that. But this didn't leave me that way. And the reason for the G2 was because I told him I felt like I showed him the back of my hands, how the skin would bunch up on the back of my hands, and then I was told that if it bunches up and you let go and it doesn't like fall back down, that you're dehydrated. And I showed him that I thought I was dehydrated, and he agreed. It looked like I was a little dehydrated, so that was why he did the G2, because if I'm already somewhat dehydrated and you're gonna clean me out, that's gonna dehydrate me even more. So I think the reason that he had me do it in a Gatorade was for the purpose of the electrolytes. But I did it. It worked. I feel better today. I am tonight feeling a little more of the pain as the Miralax is kind of like leaving my body. And he did call back today, and he didn't tell me yesterday how I was supposed to maintain until I see the gynecologist specialist on July 21st. I was like, well, how do I maintain from keeping myself getting bound up between now and then? Because I'm supposed to have tests done on my bladder. They're gonna test the speed of my urine on the bladder. They're gonna test how well my bladder and my rectum work together, because I guess they work in conjunction. And so they're going to do some testing on how they work and function together, or whether one's working and the other one's not. They said my rectum is tilted forward, so they're going to have to go in and repair that. And they're going to have to go in, and it should be 2 separate surgeries. One surgery for the rectum, one for the bladder, but they're going to do them together. And then anything else that pops up along the way that they find in the third test will test for cysts or tumors or strictures in the ureters. They're going to test the kidneys to make sure they're functioning properly. And anything that they find, anything else they find between the kidneys and the vaginal opening, they will tack on to that surgery, so that I only have to have one surgery rather than multiple surgeries, which I am so grateful for. I only want one. So that's about it for this week. Oh, during the time I made my last video, I was 203.5. The day I did that video, I was 203.5. Today, or throughout the week, yesterday I weighed in at 211.7, I think it was. 211.7. After cleaning out so far this morning, and I haven't weighed myself yet today, but as of this morning, I'm back down to 206 I was 206.5 this morning, and I've been going all day. So, I will weigh again tomorrow, but I can tell that my stomach is much smaller than it was. I mean, guys, I looked huge. I felt huge too. I was starting to feel retention in my face, like fluid retention in my lower face. I was starting to feel it in my hand. My hands were so tight that I couldn't even bend my fingers. And it felt that way with my toes too. Like, if I was to go to walk and bend that part of my toes, it felt like my toes were going to break off. It just felt like the skin was going to tear. It just felt that tight. And I pointed that out to him. And my blood pressure was up considerably from what it normally is when I come to his office. So he said he could tell that I was in pain. He did agree with me that he thinks that my bathroom issues are playing a large role in why I can't lose my weight. So we'll see if after the surgery, my weight loss can kind of take off again. I don't know. We'll see. It might even be too late now. I don't know. But if it is, I'm going to talk to him about maybe possibly doing another procedure. Um, and maybe go for the RNY. Um, so guys, I guess that's about it. I just wanted to let you know if you ever get seriously backed up, and I'm not telling you to do this unless your doctor tells you to do this, but I'm telling you it really works. He told me that if within 12 hours after I did the first dose, um, he told me to make sure I got 2 Gatorades, and he told me that after 12 hours that the first one did not work or work well enough to take the second Gatorade and pour the second half of this bottle in the other Gatorade and repeat the process. So I was like looking at him like, are you sure that's not going to hurt me? Because, it's got polyethylene glycol in it. I was told that's antifreeze, guys. And I know you can get poisoning off that kind of stuff. But I was like, are you sure you're not going to hurt me by making me do this? And he's like, no, it won't hurt you. And, and it does state on the bottle, guys, to only do it if your doctor tells you to do it. So don't do it unless you get an okay from your doctor, okay? I'm not promoting anybody to do this, okay? I'm just letting you know what he told me to do for me. And it worked. So if I start to feel that feeling between now and the 21st of July, I'll repeat it because I do have the other Gatorade and I do have the second half of this. Although I'll probably get another one or two more of these because from here on out, even after I have the surgery, they told me I will need to make sure I don't get constipated because it can ruin the surgery. So I'll have to make sure I'm keeping this on hand and using it. He told me 1 cap every other day. Between now and the surgery, but if I feel like it's not working for me, I'll repeat the process, half of this bottle with the third 2-ounce Gatorade and repeat it to make sure I'm empty for that test because they said I need to be my bowels need to be empty for that test, so I'll probably repeat this process a day or so before I have that test. So but that's it for me, guys. I'm going to let you go. Kept you long enough. And I promised a few people that I would have this video out today, so I'm going to hurry up and get it uploaded. Thank you all for stopping by and visiting with me. And I love you all. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.